Here we go. Here we go.
Live on the Facebook.
There we are. We're live on the Facebooks now. Why can't I find us? Why can't I
We
find you?
live.
Oh, they like changed the way Facebook looks now. Why did they do that? Oh no,
On
I'm
your
just on a
phone?
different page. That was what it was. I was like, this looks really weird. I can't even find myself out here. There I am. Here we are. Turn that down. Pull this up like that. Do these buttons. Edit privacy like Angela taught me. Make it public. Here we are. We're here. Let's do a little radio show. Let's do a little radio show. Jai, you ready to? Oh, what is this? Facebook. Hey, guess what, you guys? Facebook made changes again, and they're going to limit some pages from going live. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just struggling with all these Facebook things. Why is it? Okay, I guess we're not going live to the best damn bookkeeping page because Facebook is being stupid.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Because it's not yet at least 60 days old.
Oh yeah. There's all these silly restrictions.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll just go live as Dan Plata, and then y'all can share it from there.
And we can share the magic.
Mistakes I made.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that? Who's that? What was that one?
I was turning on
Maybe.
Facebook to add, and the sound was on.
This I don't know.
That's
Maybe
fine.
I'm just really sharp after a week off. But I turned my volume down before I opened Facebook, which only happens like 1 out of 10 times. Normally, I open it and I'm like, well, like the face that you just made when your volume was on.
I'm not in my original setup. I am not sure.
Yeah, you're out of your
That's
element.
fine.
You're out of your element.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right, let me get the radio thing open. I'm gonna be ready on this radio button. Jai, you ready to make a radio show?
Ready as always.
Here we go. I'm gonna do the thing. Welcome to Happy Hour, brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping. Go. Go. Jai, we need music. Angela needs to do to dance around. Oh well,
Can you hear it?
No, can't hear the music.
Oh shit.
You would know if you could hear it because I'd be dancing. That's
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
the dancing started. It's the cue that the music's
That's how I know that the audio is working usually. Because when I would do it, I wouldn't know if the audio was working until Angela was like doing her thing, and then I knew. Here. In the meantime,
Here.
you got it.
Let's go. Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's see. Okay, now it is officially a show.
Dang it,
I'm talking
StreamYard,
about.
why do you have to mess with my settings?
StreamYard did it. I was assuming that was a Facebook thing. I've been blaming Facebook for everything all along. We got some cool stuff today. We got story time today. I got stories. I got new things coming in. Time for happy hour. Angela's got her Corona with a lime. I got my whiskey and Coke. I don't know why, but whiskey and Coke just became like my Wednesday afternoon drink. And I think it's because like every other Wednesday I have 3 hours in a row of coaching calls in the middle of the day. And so, oh, look at this guy. Check out this fella.
Okay, I made it.
Techibus is in the house.
Hey, Russell,
Now we
what's
can
up?
make a radio show. Now we can make a radio show. You got anything over there to quench your thirst, Techibus?
Yes, I have some Budweiser. I got some Diesel.
Diesel, the Stevie Wise.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
I'll drink to
Cheers.
that. I'll drink to that, but then again, I'll drink to pretty much anything. We're telling some stories today, and Hecubus and Angela, I'm guessing you guys will have some stories about this too. I just got back from a week off, paddling around up in the Boundary Waters, so I got all sorts of stories, and I'll try to relate them back to business stuff as I like to do. Here's the thing coming up. I have an announcement first. Starting next Tuesday, and I'm gonna post the link. Let me see here. I got a link to post. Jai, you might be able to grab this and put it out. I'm gonna put it on the YouTube stream because I can just do that right from here. I'm hosting a webinar series starting next week. Nice. Tuesday, 8 p.m. So like usually I go live Wednesday nights. I'm still gonna be going live Wednesday nights. Marty's just gonna get extra pissed at me because I'm gonna have 2 shows starting next week for 5 weeks. I don't know that we're doing one the week of 4th of July. We'll see. I got to talk to Sean, who's not on today because it's his wife's birthday. So Sean's not hanging out with us today. We're doing a recruiting webinar series. There's 5 steps to recruiting. I have them listed here, so I'm going to rattle them off. Next Tuesday is going to be part 1 of our recruiting webinar series. And it's basically going to be me pulling everything possible out of Sean's brain. There's one where I'm going to like lead it. Like when we talk about group interviews, I'm going to really like deep dive into group interviews. But we're going to do a 5-part webinar series so that if you had trouble finding good employees this spring, some people had great luck getting applicants this year, which is unlike the last few years. But that poses another problem, which is how do you filter hundreds of applicants and actually like find the really good ones? And I'll be the first to tell you need a couple hundred applicants to get a few good employees. If you're working with like 20 to 50 applicants, you're probably not going to find great employees. Like you need hundreds, and then you need a way to sort them out. So here's our 5-part webinar series announcement right now. And again, next week, Tuesday, 8:00 Central, 9 Eastern, that'll be the first one. I don't even know how this works. Actually, I put the link, I created the webinar. So the StreamYard link is posted on our YouTube feed right now. I'll see if I can drop it in our Facebook feed too for you. So you can click on it. And Jai, if you want to throw it in the podcast notes so people can check it out there, it's on the screen too. It'll just be really hard to type in or copy and paste because it's just the thing on the screen.
Let me put it in the comments.
I should have put it like a bit.ly to it, so it could have been nice and short for you guys. Here's our webinar series. First one is on labor market research and trying to figure out if your labor market sucks or if you suck. And it's
I like the title. That's nice.
Probably, yeah. I think that is what I named it. Like, does your labor market suck or do you suck? The second one is on writing a captivating, impactful job ad and on using AI to help. And so all about the science and the art of writing a job ad. And it is half art and half science. It's one of those sorts of things. The third one is on building your recruiting funnel and your hiring funnel. You want hundreds of applicants, but if you don't have a good funnel and you just have to look at hundreds of applications, that sounds like the worst day ever. And so you don't want to do that and you won't be good at it. And so you need to go, do your labor market research, write a great job ad. Then you need to be able to filter these people. So the third webinar is going to be all about how to filter out a shitload of applicants so that you get the best out of those few hundred. I'm going to then at episode 4, I'm going to like deep dive into group interviews, how I do it, what I've seen that works, why it works so well. I have a template for it. We're going to have like giveaways on all these webinars. So you got to like sign up for the webinar, then you get the free stuff. I think Sean's even going to do an offer where if you want help with it, he's going to help you out with it. The last one is how to build a bench of candidates. I talk about this on this show a lot, especially with Angela and Sean on here a lot of the time, which is I don't stop recruiting once I hire the person. I get a bench of 10 and then I use that strategically. And it's pretty magical how good of employees you can get when you have 10 that you would have hired all 10 of them, but instead you get to pick from the top of the 10 you would have hired and hire that person. It just like really accentuates how good of employees there are out there and finding the right ones for your fit. So anyway, that's the 5-parter. Part 1, next Tuesday, labor market research. The Tuesday after that, writing impactful job ads. The Tuesday after that, I don't know what Tuesday that is, probably the week of the 4th. So maybe it's not that one. Maybe it's the next one. Building your hiring funnel. Number 4 is interviewing with groups, doing it efficiently and making it work for you. And the last one is going to be building a bench full of awesome candidates so you're never short-staffed again. And the reason why we're doing this is the labor market really eased up this spring, and yet I still saw people all over the place complaining about not being able to grow because they didn't have good employees. And I'm just like, I don't know. We know how to do this. This is a known thing. We know exactly how to do this. And so if you're struggling to find people, if you're struggling to keep people, which means you're hiring the wrong people, which probably means back to you didn't go get 200 applicants, you got 20 and hired a shitty person. So you're not keeping the right people. If you have any turnover issues, any employee issues, any whatever, we got a 5-part webinar series to help you fix it. So we're going to do that. Again, that's going to be Tuesday nights live. I'm kind of hosting it. Sean's going to be my expert, except for the group interviews. I get to be the expert on that one because it worked really well for me and I want to teach it. So check that out. Sign up for it. The link is in the feed. The link is in the YouTube thing, and we'll put the link in the podcast show notes too for you. I don't know, and this is just, I don't know how these webinar things work. I don't know if you'll be able to catch them later, frankly. Like, I think you got to be on there. I don't know if it'll be like posted somewhere. We haven't figured that out yet. So don't be like, oh, I'll just catch it after the fact and watch it later. Make sure you like sign up for them and check them out when we're live doing that webinar. Again, we're going to have like giveaways and stuff that we're doing on there. So if you want to be a part of it, if you want that help, get on that recruiting webinar so your staff doesn't suck anymore. That's what I got. Angela and Hecubus, you guys got any cool announcements?
Go for it, Angela. Ladies first. Ladies first. Other than, did you seriously DoorDash Corona to your house? Is that?
I am not at my house.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, I would have had some Corona. We're not home. We are in Phoenix. JC is doing some Christmas light training here in Phoenix, so I'm in a hotel room. And
okay. Makes more sense.
I was like, I can't do the show. Corona is my new drink on the show, and so I was like, I can't do the show. But I was telling Dan before you got on here, it's 4:00. Normally, the show's at 4, so I can start drinking away. It's happy hour. It's drinking time. I'm like, now it's 1.
Yeah. I just flew through Phoenix last night, so if I had known, I would have waved.
We just got here yesterday, so we were probably like in passing. But so yes, I did DoorDash Corona, just like Dan, Instacart, Spear, wherever he's at, to the room. So
strategy.
Yeah. No, it's solid,
and it's way more cost effective than buying beer at wherever you're at.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and then because I used to back in the day before all those things happened, it was always a thing of, okay, where's the near, like I'd go Google Earth things like, okay, where's the nearest convenience store? Is that hotel near one? Can I walk to it? You know, all those kind of things.
Yeah. You need everything else like water.
What? Water like from the toilet? Have you guys seen the movie Idiocracy?
Yeah.
It's absolutely one of my favorites. Angela, if you haven't seen Idiocracy, you and JC need 3 bottles of wine and whatever you like, cook up your favorite meal and then sit down and watch Idiocracy. It is just it's stupid comedy like Dumb and Dumber, but it's so intelligently like woven into just how stupid the world is gonna be and the path that we're on, and it just like takes that to a whole nother level. One of the main jokes is like water like from the toilet. So anyway, that was me quoting Idiocracy about your water. Because everybody knows that Brondo has what plants crave. He's got electrolytes. We watched that. Speaking of Idiocracy, we watched it twice when we were in the Boundary Waters because it was downloaded on somebody's phone. So it got rotated twice through our movie nights. So I have some I talk about this often. There's a few things I talk about often, which is business owners tend to do like challenging vacations in a way. And I relate this to like sportsman stuff. Like we tend to have hobbies that are not easy to do because we like doing weird, stupid, hard things. Canoe trips in the middle of nowhere, hauling a bunch of gear in and like camping being one of them. And so we had this Boundary Waters trip with a few other business buddies of mine. And I'll say it's like a 4-hour in. Last year it was like 7 hours in. That was a long ass ways of paddling and portaging. This year we strategically did it to a lake that was a little bit closer and just a lake that we wanted to explore a little bit more. But it's 4 hours in. A lot of times when people go up to the Boundary Waters, now like just to paint the scene for people that don't know what the Boundary Waters is, it's pristine wilderness. It's like no boats, no motors, only canoes, there's no buildings, right? There's campsites. And this is I don't know if it's millions of acres, but it's hundreds of thousands of acres. It's hundreds, if not thousands of lakes. So like 2 guys died up there the week before we got up there, like went over, got stuck in a waterfall type of thing. It's like true wilderness. It's a lot of fun to be had, but you're hours away from anything with no cell phone reception. Like if you get hurt out there, you're in some trouble. Like you better know some things about taking care of yourself. And a story does come up with yours truly, which has to do with this gouge that's on the bridge of my nose about like a thing that could have gone terribly wrong. We've done this like almost a decade now, year after year after year, and nobody's gotten like severely hurt. Minor injuries. But you want like an SOS device while you're up there. They had to airlift a guy out while we were there. Again, the week before, a couple people died up there. Like, it's awesome. It's pristine. It's like the best peaceful vacation you can get, where like nobody can get a hold of you, and that can also be dangerous. You know what I mean? It's one of those types of trips. And we talked about the need for vacations. I think especially when you're a business owner, you need it to get your mind right so that you can come back rejuvenated. I say business owner because if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a business owner. I think everybody kind of needs that, whether you got a JOB or you got a business or whatever you're doing. Vacations are like mentally crucial to get your mind right. What's really interesting when you're a business owner is it's the true test of like, what have you built? And does it work when you're not there? Or are you the hamster on the wheel? And so it's interesting leaving for a week and nobody can reach you, right? You can't help at all. They got to come up with the solution.
That's the area point of that too, because a lot of people I know take vacations, but they have their laptop with them, their cell phone with them. They're answering emails while they're on vacation. It's a working vacation. It's become like that new, that thing of, and like, that's why I like what you did, because you got to be able to leave and not have to think about it. Just walk away.
Like a true, like take your mind off of it.
Yeah.
One of the other things I really like about these vacations, and I find this is the case with hunting trips, until a hunting trip changes from this the minute you sit in a tree stand, because then your mind is allowed to wander. But when we do these Boundary Waters trips, your brain doesn't have idle time. Like if you do a backpacking hunting trip up in the mountains or something, this is the case where it's like you don't think about your business at all because your brain is already thinking about all the stuff you need to do at camp, to set this up and to portage this and to take care of that. And we got to chop wood and we got to go do this. Like there's no pile of firewood sitting there. You have to go get and make your own firewood. So you're constantly engaged, constantly focused on the vacation that requires a whole bunch of work to take care of yourselves. But it truly like takes your mind off of it because you're too busy. You don't have brain space. You're too mentally engaged in the activity that you're doing to even think about work stuff. So it truly is a vacation. Now, I think that's super critical for mental health, for testing your business and your processes. The biggest challenge, though, is there's really no such thing as a vacation. There's only work displacement, because you work twice as hard before you leave to try to like get done whatever you can get done. And then when you get back, you're like, oh no, like I have so many things to do. The funny thing that happened to me is I got back and then I looked at my calendar for this week and I realized my wife is gone this week. So not only do I have all this catch up from being out for a week, but I also have all 3 kids and sports every night. Last night we had dual sports. So grandma took one and I took the other one. And the coach didn't show up. So I was coaching my 6-year-old soccer game with Crosby, my 2-year-old, on my hip. I felt like a farm gal.
Nice.
Like I was coaching soccer with a 2-year-old in my hand. Like, and the coaches at 6-year-old level are out on the field. So I'm on the field. All the other parents are watching and I'm coaching. And my 2-year-old's kind of like going back and forth between the snacks and dad. He was just kind of running the gauntlet. But I don't know that I would have done anything differently, but maybe I would have been more mentally prepared to get back. If I realized that Marty was out for the whole week, I would have like had some things prepared. Instead, I'm just like, oh shit, I got to catch up and I got to do the dishes and do the laundry and get the kids to bed. And then like, I'll try to get some work done after that. So I've had that sort of week where you're like,
it's better that you didn't know though, because then you would have had that in the back of your mind.
You're right. You're right. You're right about that.
The struggle is still going to be the same regardless.
Yeah.
Doesn't make the dishes and the laundry any easier.
Yeah, good point. Good point. And let's be honest, the laundry is clean. It's just, but it's definitely not folded. It's just in a huge heaping pile.
Right. Yeah.
That's where it ended up. It's clean. Every child can go pick their way through. This morning, Crosby and I were digging around in that big pile for a pair of socks for him. We found them. They were in there. So it's just we're living.
You need a house manager.
What are you saying? I can't handle it?
No, we have a house manager. I mean, I had to do that as a entrepreneur with little kids that was running a business. I'm not saying you can't do it for a week, but as a business owner, you have a choice. of I can spend some more time in the business or I can do the dishes and laundry. So very early on, I had a house manager. I was like, I can not do the laundry and I can spend that time selling and doing what I do best.
I think I'm not opposed to that. I think I should get my business profitable before I do that.
Then
We keep growing too fast that it's really expensive to grow a business really fast.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because like you're growing and you're doing more revenue and you're like, we should be, and I speak on this all the time. So I'm not like complaining about it. I know exactly how this goes. But I'm in purgatory number 2 right now. Purgatory. I might have even skipped over sweet spot number 1. I guess no, sweet spot number 1 is like right away. Sweet spot number 2 would be like after purgatory number 1, before purgatory number 2.
Yes.
I think I grew through sweet spot number 2 before I even realized I was in it. And I just entered purgatory number 2, like straight off the back of purgatory number 1, just growing like crazy. I think I told you, Angela, we hit the 100 client mark like before the end of May. And we just started this thing in September. It's like, I don't know how we have 12 clients on the wait list. I need to get to work. I have like clients on the wait list that I need to get working on.
That's awesome.
But hence the like getting back from vacation and being like, oh crap, I got a lot of stuff to do. It piled up, and more clients converted while I was gone and said like, okay, I'm ready to go. So then I gotta get those up and running. So hell of a problem to have, but man, there's just no such thing as vacation. We got to do this. We got to take a commercial break. Jai, why don't you play us out with some nice quiet music? We'll transition to a commercial break. I want to talk, you know how bad things happen in threes, allegedly? That's what they say. I have for sure like 2 bad things that happened on this trip, and I'm trying to figure out which one the third one is. So I need your guys' help kind of diagnosing that, but I'll do a little storytelling from the trip.
Like I need more diesel.
Yeah, you might need some more diesel. And then I want to get to some of your guys' memorable workations and the bad things that happened, and then the what happens when you get back, how you cope with it. Maybe a house manager. Let's Angela's silently whispering house manager. That Angela, you yell in the inverse. I feel like that was you yelling house manager. You're just too nice to yell, so you did it very politely. But you really wanted to yell. All right, we'll be back with a little more home service happy hour right here on Turfs Up Radio. Don't you guys go nowhere.
Landscapers, had enough of disjointed and outdated software? Upgrade to Aspire and say goodbye to estimating, scheduling, and routing frustrations. With Aspire, it's smooth sailing. Work orders? Handled. Mobile access? Done. Invoicing, payments, and real-time reporting? It's covered. Aspire's got your back. Why settle? You deserve software that works just as hard as you do. Learn more at youraspire.com. That's youraspire.com.
You're listening to Turfs Up Radio, the only radio station of its kind dedicated to the green industry. Now you can even ask Alexa to tune you in when you're home.
True Fuel is a high-octane fuel precision-engineered for your 2- and 4-cycle equipment. They use the most advanced synthetic lubricants and stabilizers in an ethanol-free fuel, improving performance, protecting your equipment, and saving you time. That means easier startups, smoother idling, and quicker trigger response, plus extended life for all of your equipment. True Fuel is ready to use and easy to store, helping your operations be more efficient and reducing maintenance costs. We at Turfs Up use True Fuel because we know it works and we know it's the best option. Check out TrueFuel50.com to learn more. That's TrueFuel50.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, here's to all the women in the green industry. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
I like the mix up of the music. It's something different. And I like the bass drop on this one, and just right there. Boom. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's good. Super good one. It feels like we're coming out of a commercial break. Is what it feels like. It's good. What's up, home service homies, business nerds? Welcome back to the Home Service Happy Hour right here on Turfs Up Radio. We got Angela Schroeder from Unique Genius Virtual Assistants in the house, and our man Hecubus. It's been months, Hecubus.
Well, every Wednesday I'm like doing something, and then I see the group text about like, hey, who's on? And I'm just like, and then I saw it today. I was like, wait a minute, I can actually be here. By the way, the destruction behind me is because we're moving soon. So
you're moving again?
I didn't have time to put up like a cool little back screen thing. So
yeah. Hey, where are you going to? Where are you headed?
To North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, next month.
You're gonna be neighbors with Angela.
Yeah, we're gonna be near kind of Lexington-ish area.
I have no idea where that is.
It's about an hour, or give or take, about southwest of Charlotte. So kind of central.
Sounds like as good a place to be as any,
give or take. So it's near Eric Jones, the turf teacher himself.
Oh, there you go. What's bringing you down south?
Change of pace, change of venue, as far as wanting to be somewhere kind of like more like the Northwest, but not the Northwest. So it has all the same.
More like the Northwest, but not the Northwest.
It has the mountains, it has the coast, it has all the other things to do. So
just not
down there and
not rain 100% of the time.
Actually, that's the biggest thing I miss, honestly, since I've moved to Iowa, was rain. I really miss the rain.
You replaced rain with corn.
I did. Yeah, well, it replaced rain with corn sweats is what I did. I didn't even know that was a thing until I moved here. And I was like, okay. All right, that's a thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're doing that next month. We're not quite sure where we're going yet, but we just kind of darted that spot. So Lexington is just kind of a central area of location. So
I dig it.
But we both gave notice on our jobs here as far as physical jobs. I'm still obviously Turfs Up, but gave notice on those things, and the moving company has already been scheduled for the 25th of July. So
damn,
sometime between now and then we got to figure out where we're actually going to land, but there's plenty of time.
You got time.
Yeah.
So
I just put a bunch of boxes in the back, maybe, because we got it now that we got off vacation. Because you said you vacation. I just got off vacation. Just got home this morning at like 2 a.m. from vacation. So
oh damn, this is even more relevant to you then. I got home Saturday and I thought this was relevant.
It's funny when you started mentioning vacation. I was like, holy hell, that's funny, because we left here on Thursday and then came back this morning on vacation. So there was no work involved in vacation. First vacation I've taken in 20 years where I did not have a laptop even anywhere near me. I had my notification turned off my phone for anything as far as anything other than like my kids and stuff like that,
Heck yeah. Where were you guys at? Where'd you go?
We went back up to Washington State.
Okay.
Yeah, up in the gorge there. We had it was a vacation, but as you said that there's a lot of work involved, like when you were talking about going on hunting and things like that. Same type of thing. Charity Lane, yes, moving is absolutely fun.
Charity works for us. She just moved from Connecticut to Indiana.
Nice.
And she like moved, but then she has to move again. Like she moved, she's with friends, and then she has to move into her apartment. So she just got to do the double move. And
that's what we're looking at doing this time, where we're going to kind of do the first thing so we can case the area. And then because the first time we moved to Iowa a couple of years ago, we did it blind, where we just found a spot that looked like it was okay from the aerial view and then went from there, but this last vacation was crazy because we flew out on Thursday. It was not an all day thing because we left super early in the morning, but you know how it is. You get lagged from just traveling. So you got a day of just kind of travel. But on Friday, it was my youngest son's birthday. So he turned 4. Then on Saturday, my oldest daughter graduated from high school. And then on Sunday, Liz and I got married. So it was a very packed, weekend that happened over the last few days.
Dang. All of that stuff out in Washington.
Angela's.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Angela just glitched for a second there.
Yeah, it's like all that happened. So whoa. You had a birthday, a high school graduation, and you got married?
Yes. All in the same weekend.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations, man.
This is more than a vacation. Like, gracious.
Well, but the thing is, it's the first true vacation that I have taken where I didn't do any kind of work. It was all for just like having fun and stuff in 20 years, like literally 20 years. So So then that's when you brought up, Dan, about taking vacations. Like, it's important to take them away from work. You have to.
Yeah.
Even if the vacation feels like work because you're doing things and you have schedules and things like that, you still have to have that separation. It's so important. Absolutely.
Well, and like I said, I think some of it is even like, and again, this is just like a business thing, is we tend to take vacations that are hard and have a lot to them, and totally
you want to keep that schedule, right?
Yeah, and you're just so engaged in it then. Actually, Angela, I kind of felt like that at Disney too. Like, being at Disney was so engaging. The Boundary Waters doesn't have the same hangover though, because it's not dopamine, and it's more work. It's less people doing work for you. You're the one doing the work, so it's less of a vacation letdown, more of just a breath of fresh air. But either way, you get back to a just huge pile of work to do. I also forgot, in my case, like, I took off the first week of the month, which is like month end, and when we're at our busiest. So I also, which I think was good for the team. Like, that forces them to work through stuff and figure stuff out. And I think that's good. We all do better when we're like forced to learn that way. Not all the time, but I think that like forces the issue. But then it also just piled more up for me, because I also have some month-end stuff that I need to do, just reporting stuff, payment related stuff, all sorts of administrative crap. And so that was not stupid of me. It was just nice to not think about it. And then
there's never a bad time to take vacation, honestly. Like, and I know that's funny because I just said 20 years I haven't taken a true vacation.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of that had to do with why is because I've never really enjoyed vacation. Like, I've never liked taking a vacation, not because I always wanted to work, but just, it's like, I enjoy working. So it's one of those things where I like, kind of like what you were talking about with taking your time off up there, which over 1 million acres, by the way. I looked it up over the.
Oh, you looked it up? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Wow. It's huge.
But it's a lot of work, right? So you're still doing something. You're still engaged in something.
Oh yeah.
And that's where, like, I think it's important to be able to take a day off if you need to, or do this and not say, well, I'll have to wait until there's a better time, because when you wait, then there's never
comes. There's never a good time.
Yeah.
There's never a good time. There's never a bad time.
I think there can be like two types of trips. As business owners, one, we build flexibility into our lives, right? A lot of times you can work from anywhere, which can be the blessing or the curse. And so you can travel. A lot of times we travel for business. We're seeing clients, or we're going to conventions or conferences, which are somewhat a vacation because we're in a new place.
Don't talk like that, because if my wife hears this, she's going to know that when I go to conventions, I'm just out drinking beer with my friends.
Well, there's
just
that.
Kidding. She already knows that.
And they're in a city, and often you can like travel a little or whatever. You can travel and be working, arrange your schedule around that. You're working part of the day, you're traveling part of the day, and doing those things, and having the flexibility to weave it all together. And then it's important to do those trips like you both just did. And that's the thing that I think people don't do, because we've gotten to a society we can work forever from anywhere. Yep. And travel more and do more and see more and work from wherever. But the value of unplugging, like the value not only for your own mental health, but there is a value in it for the business to test your people, like you said. But like, unless you shut off and like take a different view, you're not seeing your business in the same way. Like, you're not seeing it through a creative lens. Or
yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the best things was, I don't know when the last time it was, where I threw my backpack onto the scanner thing, and they're like, "Oh, do you have any electronics in there?" I was like, "Nope." They're like, and the person actually did a double take of me. They're like, "No, you don't have like a laptop or an iPad?" Or I was like, "Nope, no electronics whatsoever." And they just kind of like stared at me, like they thought I was like trying to mess with the system or something.
I design. Yeah, they're like, we're gonna have to body search this guy. He's clearly lying to us.
Yeah, I purposely did not bring a laptop. The only thing I said was brought my phone, but that was it. The laptop was never even a thought, because that's just an anchor to the other side of the life, So
yeah,
went away from that, and it was awesome too. The weekend was amazing because not having to think about those things. And I knew there was stuff that I was going to have to work on a little bit harder when I got back. Kind of like you were talking about, Dan, with coming back and having a bunch of work. But it was the worth of having that moment was so much better than not taking it because of it, or telling my daughters like, "Oh, hold on a second, I'm going to go and do this. I got to send some emails real quick. I'll be right back." Like
Yep.
that's yeah.
Yeah. You stay focused. Well, especially I don't know what your wife would have done if you'd have been like, hey, I know we're like getting ready to get married. Hold on 1 second. I just got to get back to a couple emails here. I think that was just like wise so that you didn't get your ass kicked to
Oh yeah. No,
electronics at home.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was important too.
Congrats, man. That's freaking awesome. Did you go back to Washington just for family or friends or like to get married there? That was like what brought you back there?
Well, actually, so my oldest daughter's graduation was what brought us back, and we had thought about, because we've been together for a long time, so it was just a matter of like, well, we're getting to the point where there's retirement things involved and stuff like that, and so we want to make sure that we're on paper as opposed to just because we've referred to each other husband and wife for I don't know 8-9 years probably now, so it was just a thing where we were going to go to the courthouse here and make it happen recently, and then we're like, well, we're going to be back there, all of our family's back there, why don't we just do a little shindig, and it wasn't a big huge thing, it was just close family and friends, like 20-30 people that were from the area that showed up. So
heck yeah,
it was.
Now I don't feel like I'm crazy because I thought you have referred to her as your wife. Like,
oh yeah, no, totally, yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean you just got married? I thought you had a wife.
Yeah, I feel like after 2 or 3 years, if you keep saying, oh, this is my girlfriend or whoever, it's like, it doesn't really, people are like, well, how come you're not married yet? So we just kind of jumped over that and went straight to that common law thing.
Just like a handshake agreement. Like let's just avoid getting pestered about this from everybody we know.
Exactly.
So we'll just cut to the chase.
So
Michael Gregory in the house. Look at that guy over there wearing his hat backwards, looking all cool. Just
welcome. I'm so sorry I'm late, you guys. California's tax day is on Monday, and
he has a business partner that's really lagging on getting a K1 back to him. I did get a text message from my CPA though, Michael. So I'm in communication.
Good. Well, if you get it before tomorrow, we'll do it. Otherwise, I'll just have to amend it. It's fine. I don't really care.
It's gonna be like a tax loss of $5,000. So not gonna be life changing. But so Michael, when was the last like big vacation you took? You went to Japan recently? Was that like that was business? But did you do any vacationing over there, or was it pure business? Did he freeze up on me like right when I asked him a question? Michael,
he's there.
That one was for you.
Yep. So no, everything froze for me, so I'm not sure if I'm back or if it was you, but it might have been me. Yeah, I went to Tokyo. I went to Tokyo end of March, early April. That was super fun. I spent 8 days there. Went to Cancun, got to hang out with Angela last month a little bit. I've traveled a lot this year. We're going to the lake this weekend. We're going to Yosemite in July. Huge in August. Every month, I think for the rest of the year, I'm going somewhere.
There you go.
Well, I mean, fun's all relative, but somewhere interesting.
Hell yeah. Do you have a strategy for like getting back acclimated after a big trip?
No. So when I got to Tokyo, it was pure adrenaline that kept me running because I've never been there and I was just ready to get down and party.
And you're in like the jet lag of being on the exact opposite side of the planet is just not even
18 hours. It was crazy.
Your body has no idea what to do. It's not like 3 or 4 hours where you're like really goofy. It's like your body's so out of whack, you don't know what to do. You're like, I might as well just stay awake for a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, anybody that's flown to like Philippines, Japan, or something, like when you come home, you actually arrive before you left.
Yeah,
so you
like,
go through a time warp. It's wild.
Do a time travel.
Yeah,
perfect
so now
for business because you gain that day.
What's that?
So it's perfect for business because you gain that day.
Yeah, just keep doing it. Just reverse, go backwards in time. Just keep spinning around the world. No, the night before I left Tokyo, we just stayed awake all night and experienced Roppongi, and I didn't sleep for 24 hours. So
what the hell's Roppongi?
It's just like the party district of Tokyo.
Oh, cool.
And then I didn't sleep. I fell asleep before the plane took off, and I woke up when the wheels hit the ground. So I literally didn't wake up the entire time on the way home.
Well done.
That's perfect. You didn't get any blood. Aren't you supposed to get up for like blood clots in your legs or something? You don't have any blood clots.
Alive. Yeah.
You made it.
I got this weird lump on my arm, but it's not.
That's just a cancerous tumor. You're totally fine. That's
You're
not
fine.
a blood clot. You're fine. Yeah, toughen up. It's weird. Angela, I think you laid it out well. There's like the tagging along with a business trip vacations, And I think there's a lot of like business engagement on those. And then there's the ones that are totally not business related that just have like a weird, different feel to them. And I feel like I recover well. It takes me a day to recover from like a business trip to get back into the business because I'm just business stuff. But it takes me a week to recover from a non-business trip. Like I get back, especially when it's like a full week long, I get back and I'm just like, who am I? What are we doing here? Like I just spent a week cutting trees down and splitting wood and drinking rum like I'm a pirate. So what do we do now? I don't even remember what this is. It just takes a little bit more to get back. Let's I still got to cover the 2 and maybe 3 bad things. I know the 2 bad things happen in 3s. What I really need, Jai, play us some music. We're going to cover this when we come back from a commercial break. What I need you guys' help figuring out is, did a 3rd bad thing happen, or is there still going to be something bad that happens to me? Like I need to know if I need to be on the lookout. Some things happened. I don't know if they were bad though. 2 things for sure bad. Not sure what the 3rd bad one is. I need your help figuring that out. We're going to come back with some good bad things. We'll be back with a little more home service happy hour. Yeah, you know, some more home service happy hour right here on Turfs Up Radio. Don't go nowhere.
Get ready to abandon gas with Crest Commercial. With insane power and extreme longevity, the era of batteries trailing behind gas engines is over. With the Crest revolutionary 8-minute cyber system, Crest Commercial landscape tools provide the same power and performance as their gas-powered counterparts, as much as a 2-stroke engine. Plus, the Crest 60-volt CyberPack batteries charge in 8 minutes or less. Professional landscapers can finally make the switch to battery without sacrificing performance, power, or runtime. Crest, it's the only choice to replace gas. For more information or to find a dealer near you, visit Crest.com.
Creating art from darkness. For over 20 years, Cast Lighting has designed and manufactured the world's most durable, energy-efficient, and technically advanced landscape lighting products available at astonishingly affordable prices. Cast offers an all-encompassing line of products with everything you need to get the job done. Cast Landscape, their most durable product, is best-in-class, low-voltage landscape lighting made of solid bronze with integrated and drop-in LED technology. These fixtures are built to endure the most demanding environments. Source Lighting, a new division by Cast, is your source for professional grand landscape lighting made of durable brass, offering both integrated and drop-in LED technology, and backed by Cast, the world's most durable outdoor lighting. Cast Lighting gives you innovative, state-of-the-art, old-world craftsmanship with tomorrow's technology. Visit their website at cast-lighting.com today. That's cast-lighting.com.
Having issues with your maintenance schedule? Want better routing and ability to track your vehicles when they leave the shop? Do you want to reduce your liability exposure with your vehicles that are moving billboards on the road? GPS Fleet Consulting uses cloud-based dashcam monitoring and can easily track your vehicle maintenance using real odometer readings. GPS Fleet Consulting can also assist you with live phone support and email support with guaranteed same-day responses. Yes, same-day responses. Stop wondering where your trucks are and start managing your fleet with GPS Fleet Management Systems. For more information, visit gpsfleetconsulting.com. That's gpsfleetconsulting.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, no one rocks like Turfs Up Radio. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Getting into it, baby. Getting into it. Raising the roof. Like I'm in 8th grade. Yeah. Whoa, Angela just disappeared and came back. The old Houdini. Pulled the Houdini. What's up, business nerds? Home service homies. Welcome back to a little more home service happy hour on Turfs Up Radio. We got the dream team here. Hecubus is in the house. We haven't seen Hecubus in decades. Probably been decades.
I think so.
Angela Schroeder, Unique Genius, VAs is in the house. Michael Gregory from Click Call Sales in the house. And me, Dan, I'm here too. I'm in the house. Best Damn Bookkeeping. Shout out, logo, QR code. You got it. I got some stories. And like I said, I need, before the break, I said this, I need you guys' help trying to figure out what the third bad thing is, because I kind of need to know if something bad's going to happen to me. So here's the progression. We had some guys fly in like last Saturday, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before. 4 of us heading up to the Boundary Waters. So here's kind of like Dan's storytelling time, and I'll weave in the bad things, and then we'll figure out what the third bad thing is, if there was a third bad thing, or if I still have one more coming. So they got in Saturday. We pack up Sunday morning. We even, because they flew in early enough, Saturday morning we got packed up, and then we hung some blinds in the house for Marty, and we put together like a pool cage box thing to like store stuff by the swimming pool. So like all 4 of us dudes were like working on my house while we're like, well, we don't need to drive up yet. We're just it's a 5-hour drive up, and then we're just gonna sit there and drink beer. So we might as well like have a beer here and get some stuff done. So making the wife happy. Felt like that should have bought some good karma, right? Which it did with Marty was happy with it. Karma wasn't, because of the bad things that happened. So we're driving up. Everything's going fine. And we're probably 3.5 hours in on our 5-hour drive, 4.5, 5-hour drive. And we hear like a, and something popped my tire that was like a 1/4 inch. I mean, like a samurai sword must have been laying on the highway. And this is just like a 2-lane highway. But my back right tire went from full to flat in like 2 seconds. It didn't explode. And we found where whatever it was had punctured it. I mean, and it was like at least a 1/4 inch hole. I mean, like if it was a nail, that some bitch could nail like a whole bolt together by itself. So we got a flat tire, and it's of course on like this 2-lane highway that has no side area. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the side area of a highway? The shoulder. The shoulder would be a good word for that. I was gonna say median, and I was like, no, it's not the median. It's
that's the opposite way.
Something else.
Median is in the middle.
Yeah. So it wasn't the median. That would have been on a 2-lane highway. That would have been a really bad spot to change a tire. But so like we pull over my truck, because I'm a cheap ass, and I just have that like loyalty thing. My truck is a 2011 F-150. It's getting really rusty, 200,000 miles. And you can imagine what the underside, like I live in Minnesota, the underside of that truck is just a ball of rust from Minnesota winters. That's where your spare tire is. It's underneath the bottom of the truck. So between trying, not like, I had never changed a tire on my F-150. I've changed plenty of other tires on trailers, on other vehicles, never on my F-150. To get to the spare tire, there's like a keyhole thing in the back bumper that you need to turn, open it up. You put a rod up in this like screw thing to get the tire to fall. And then when the tire falls, then you can like unhook it, take it out, put the tire on, right? Well, like we can't even, that keyhole is so rusted and corroded, it's not usable. So we just had to pop it out. We just had to like force the whole key mechanism out, which if you're ever trying to like steal somebody's spare tire, you know, if you're into that sort of thing, they pop out really easily. You just break the whole thing out. They just pop right out. So we wind that down. I'm surprised like the wind down mechanism still worked and that was intact at all. But this spare tire comes out, the tire looking gorgeous. That tire was pristine. I mean, like it's clearly never been used before. That was a good looking tire. 14 years. Yeah, probably 14 years and 200,000 miles. That tire is like looking sharp. That rim, on the other hand, is looking like if you blow on it too hard, it's all just going to crumble. It's just so rusty looking. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm really worried about putting this tire on my truck. Keep in mind, the back of this truck, 4 dudes, and we were thinking, this was a conversation we were having on the way up, this was supposed to be a 6-man trip, 3 canoes. 3 canoes, we have enough room for all this stuff. But we had guys back out, and so now we have 4 dudes, but we still have the same amount of stuff. We're missing like their 2 packs, but we have 2 huge tarps. We have a fucking couch. We brought an inflatable couch. And that we downsized some stuff. That still made it. The couch still made it. So we have an immense amount of gear, like the back of a full, not extended box, but like a full 6-foot box of an F-150 with a topper is full. I mean, like that baby's full. Not to mention the 12 fishing poles that we're hauling in too. That baby is full back there. So that's like a lot of weight on the back of this truck that is in turn going to be on this rim of this just rusty ass spare tire. And now we're changing it on the side of the road where there's literally like no room. Luckily, we were able to get far enough, like driving on the rubber of this tire, right? Like rim almost just on the pavement, to find a driveway of somebody's. So now we're changing a tire on a truck that's leaning like this. So that was pretty iffy too. But we get the tire changed. The rim doesn't totally fall apart, but I've never clenched my butt cheeks so tight while I've been driving. Like the whole way, every time we hit a bump, it was just like all I'm picturing is that this rim is just going to like contort and just, I'm going to see the tire pass us, right? Like the tire is going to go rolling past us at some point. It never did, which has surprised me. The tire never passed us. It stayed on. We made it to the outfitter. So that was the first bad thing, was this tire thing. Made it to the outfitter. The outfitter is really funny. It's like a brother, it's a dude and then the brother-in-law. And it's like I forget exactly who's married to who, right? But they like run it together. One is super always in a good mood. The other one's really helpful, but just always cranky. And he's like, normally, like the last time we had used this outfitter once before, and we kind of like weren't going to ever use him again because the one dude was so frustrating to deal with. But we called when we were on our way, and he's like, no problem. Bring me the tire. When you get it here, I'll patch it. And if I can't patch it, I'm going to take it into town for you. And I was like, damn, Carl, like, what a nice dude. Like, man, the last time we were up here, Carl was just, maybe he turned a new leaf or something.
You came back and he was like, oh, okay. You weren't just here. You weren't just a one-timer. You know?
Yeah. And I was kind of not sure if he remembered us because it wasn't under my name the last time we used them like 4 or 5 years ago. But we remembered them. I don't know if they remembered us or not. I think Carl did when he came out to yell at us at 10:30 because we were sitting out, like everybody else is trying to sleep. We're sitting out on the deck drinking beers, being loud. Duh. And it's like 4 dudes that we business owner dudes, like we don't get to see each other that often, right? So like we're gonna stay up till midnight drinking and then get up at 4 a.m. To like go paddle, right? That's like the life we're living. But we're gonna like exhaust every opportunity to hang out together. So we get up there. We organize our stuff. We got yelled at twice that night. We got yelled at by Carl. So after he was super helpful and patched the tire for me, which didn't hold. So he truly like he took it an hour away into town to get a new tire put on, which reminds me, I still need to call those people and pay them. Because I do have my tire back on. And I owe them money, but they were closed. They left the tire, classic like northern Minnesota. They just left the tire sit outside for me just to pick up. They haven't charged me anything, but they fixed it. And they left it sit outside with no invoice or anything. No way for me to get a hold of them. Besides, I had to like Google search their business to figure out. And I still got to call them, pay them. But good old Carl like took care of us. He was all over it. But then he also came out and yelled at us and was just so rude to us. I mean, granted, we were the assholes being rude, right? We're outside like drinking, making too much noise. But he just has no sense for how to like communicate nicely to people. It's just like like that's the way he communicates. Is he just comes out yelling. And we're like, okay, man, like you just had to tell us to like kindly be quiet, but instead like yelling's cool too. All right. And then we went up to our bunk and proceeded to keep drinking beer and talking. And then the bunk neighbor came over and was like, hey, like he was really, he felt like Carl, but he communicated like a reasonable human, which got a better result out of us, which is he's like, hey guys, like I got my kids over here. You guys are just really loud. Like we're trying to sleep and all that. And I was like, oh my God, now I feel bad. Like he took the right approach, right? Carl approached us and we're like, what a dick. This guy approached us, same message. Like you assholes are being really loud, but made us feel sorry and got a better result. So anyway, we stayed up drinking too late. Of course, we woke up to paddle in and it's like horizontal rain. It's that like 10 to 20 mile an hour, misty, some droplets, some just piss on you. And like and we have to go into it for the first like 2 hours of paddling and portaging. We're going right into this kind of misty rain, but we loaded up. We were going by like 7:15 a.m. They were nice enough to give us a 4-man canoe because we had so much gear that we had 1 2-man canoe and 1 4-man canoe. And that thing was just a barge. Like whoever was paddling that, they were moving a little bit slower and it was a little bit harder to turn, but it held all of our gear. And every portage was 2 trips. It's not like carry the canoe, carry a pack, and you're across. It's like carry a canoe, carry a pack on your back, carry a pack on your front, go back and do it again, grab some poles, grab some oars, grab whatever. So we get all the way. It is, I think I mentioned earlier, it was like 4 hours to get in, 4 hours to get to the lake we wanted to get to. And we got the campsite we wanted. We got the first tarp set up that night, which is like a 20 by 30 tarp. We'd like to get a tarp over the fire pit. So there's never a doubt that we can like cook food over the fire, do that sort of thing. I always have a fire going. And I don't know if we inflated the couch that night or the next morning, but the couch got inflated and we had a couch in the Boundary Waters. I think we're the first people ever to have a couch in the Boundary Waters. But setting up camp is a lot of work. You're out like searching for firewood. You're digging through all your stuff. You're trying to set everything up. Meanwhile, I don't know that I had water at all day. Like we drank beer all night and then we're paddling in and just going. And so then you get to camp and you make a cocktail, of course. Right. And so we're setting up. We got out fishing a little bit. We caught some fish. We did a fish fry. We fished a little bit more. We got back to camp, but everybody's just toast, especially that first night after hauling ass in and carrying all that gear. I mean, like it's heavy. We go in heavy, and we don't day camp and bounce around. We like base camp and we stay there for 4 or 5 days and then we get out. Well, here's bad thing number 2. In the middle of the night, we got 1 tent set up for like 2 guys, and then we got Moose, my buddy, and then myself are in hammocks. So they're like camping hammocks that are made to sleep in, and you're supposed to sleep with your feet kind of up and your head kind of down so that your back is flat. So you can get an air mat in there so it's nice and comfy, and they are really comfortable to sleep in. But after fish fry and just eating shit, acid indigestion, like I'm just getting heartburnies. It's 2 a.m. I gotta pee. I got heartburn. I'm gonna get up and get some Tums. Unzip the bug net, get up. I walk over to, I don't know why I went where I went. I just walk over to an area to pee because it's an area that somebody else peed earlier. And I think it's a male thing, but I'm just like, I'm gonna pee on there. It's like what dogs do, right? I'm gonna pee where that thing peed because this is my pee spot. So I'm gonna pee. So I'm like taking a pee, and all of a sudden I'm like getting lightheaded. And the next thing I know, I wake up and I'm eating pine needles. Like I am face down, hence the mark on my nose. I got a big cut right here on my nose. I had a black eye here, and the inside of my lip was all busted up. I like felt it, but I didn't know what was happening. Just when you faint, it's just like it wasn't a pass out. Like I wasn't drunk. Had a couple drinks. I think I was just dehydrated and exhausted, and I stood up too fast for my head being below me. And I fainted. So here's going to be like the TMI portion of the show. My ding-a-ling was in my pants. I was wearing sweats. My ding-a-ling was in my pants. So at least I didn't pee all over myself. And it wasn't wet exactly where I landed. So I don't think I landed in my own pile of piss. So I got that going for me. So I think that was a good thing.
That's a win. But
I did land like face down, and I don't know how long I was out for. But it was one of those things where like I came to and you're like, what the hell happened? Like, I'm like, literally I have pine needles in my mouth. And I'm doing like, and the first thought goes through your head of like, did I like drink too much and pass out last night? And I'm like, no, I just got up to take a leak and get some Tums. How did I end up here? Oh yeah. The last thing I saw, I was like reaching for the tree that I was peeing next to try to grab it. Oh yeah, and now that I'm thinking about it, I was kind of like wavy, and I must have fainted. And so that was bad thing number 2 is I fainted. I landed on my face. The next morning when we actually got up, I'm pretty covered in blood. I didn't clean it up that night, so I'm like blood on my face here. Blood. I mean, like I'm pretty bloody. I'm sleeping on my back, so it's fine, whatever. But I'm definitely concussed. That next morning, I'm like nauseous a little bit, pretty woozy. And that was the best day to go out anywhere. And we were going to day trip over to a neighboring lake, troll for lake trout, and kind of do a day trip out of it. But it took till like 11 a.m. before I was like, okay, I think I got this. I mean, from like 7 to 11, I was just like, I don't know, dudes. Like, I think we better keep her close. I don't know how useful I can be. I don't know what I can carry. I feel like if I stand up, I'm going to fall back over. So that was kind of a bummer to like lose probably our best morning of camp with me being a piece of shit. Now here's what, so like those two things for sure, bad things. I don't know what the third bad thing is, because here's like the quick other highlights. And then I need you guys to tell me. We popped the couch. Now I tried to patch it, but when we used it as a floaty device out in the lake, because of course we had to take the couch out into the lake to blow a couch. The back of it got popped, carrying it down the rocks. So that was a super bummer. I don't know if that's I feel like that's not bad enough to be. I
feel like that one was maybe the area telling you, the lake's telling you shouldn't bring a couch here.
Maybe, but
you know, like you were saying, like you were bragging about, this is the first time we've ever been a couch. You're like, oh, really? Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah, nature sending us a message.
Yeah.
So we had that. Luckily we had 2 tarps set up, because for the rest of like the next 3 days, it was either raining, hailing, or really windy. So fishing was tough. Fishing wasn't great because you get all these weather fronts and the fish kind of shut down. So fishing was pretty poor. We had a fish fry every day. So we caught enough to eat, and we had plenty of food. And there's also like this blessing in disguise. Same with at home, right? It's great when you have a sunny day, but when you get a rainy day and you're playing board games and stuff like that, like that's not an unpleasant day. And we packed a bunch of games. So we're in there like playing cards, playing some Exploding Kittens. I don't know if you guys ever played Exploding Kittens, but 4 guys. We also pack in a small table. So we got 4 guys sitting on a couch with a table in the Boundary Waters playing Exploding Kittens, drinking rum, mixed drinks. So I can't it's like, oh, the weather was bad, but it was awesome. Like we were having tons of fun. So I don't know. I don't know if that was a bad thing. When we left, we had to go into like a 20-mile-an-hour wind, and I took us on a wrong turn. Like it was totally me. I can't blame anybody else. I took us on a way wrong turn. Not way wrong, probably like 10 minutes out of the way. But everybody was pretty defeated because it was almost when we were back at the lodge, and I totally took us around an island the wrong way into a headwind that was like a 30-mile-an-hour wind, like white cap waves coming into the canoe while we're all toast trying to get out. So like that was maybe a bad thing, but I don't know. I feel like I don't have a for sure, here's the third bad thing. So like I said, I'm kind of worried that I don't.
Well, I would say, why do you think that everything happens in threes?
Yeah, good point. It's probably a bunch of bullshit, isn't it?
Because I feel like you had a lot more than just 2 or 3 bad things that happened.
Yeah,
right?
There's two real bad things.
Like a 20 or 30-mile-an-hour headwind when you're canoeing. Like, come on, that's a bad thing.
Could have been bad.
And then missing out on the best day, missing out on the best morning of being able to do things. I mean, you listed like a bunch of stuff that are quantitatively bad things.
So maybe I had 5 or 6 bad things. Maybe I lapped it. Maybe I
just feel like you had a bunch of stuff that happened, and then you picked out a couple of them that were like your top 2, and then now you're searching for a third. But
I'm searching for a third one that's at that echelon.
Only because there's no real third. Bad things happens in threes. You know, I mean, you plant. When you do plants, you plant them in threes. That's a good thing.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
I think sometimes it just makes you look for something else bad. Like bad things happen in threes. 2 things happen, and now you're like, oh my gosh, woe is me.
Here's a good thing. When I fainted, like I said, my ding-a-ling was in my pants from my recollection. So I didn't like faint with that hanging out, which I guess doesn't really matter when there's nobody around, but just out of personal embarrassment, that felt more embarrassing. I don't think I landed in my own pile of piss. To the left of me, like 4 or 5 feet, was a rocky cliff going down to the water, like a 10-foot drop. So I didn't go over that. And to the right of the tree that I tried to grab was a stump with a huge, jagged, pointy top on it that would have impaled me for sure had I fainted there. Now, again, I peed where I peed because somebody else had peed there before. And as a man, I only just realized this now. Like, I don't know why I chose that spot to pee other than I saw somebody else pee there earlier. So I was like, oh, this is just where we pee. But I think alpha male in me was like, no, I'm gonna pee on this spot.
Well, you could also look into the fact that the whatever reason that you peed in that spot saved you from all those other issues, right? So
maybe it's a good thing. I was gonna pee either way, so at least I fainted there. Maybe it's a good thing.
Like you literally you dropped your own tree in the middle of a bunch of other trees perfectly versus having all those others.
Yeah,
you're here, so
I'm here.
It's a good thing.
I got this one. My mother-in-law was like, "Hey, better take care of that because if you get sunburned now, that'll turn into a scar." And immediately I was like, "I think that's a pretty sweet scar, Darlene." Like
he ran outside and went,
get sunburned. Like this looks pretty sweet. I'm like,
I'm gonna run to a tanning bed right now because the sun's not out today.
Yeah, I'm getting my Harry Potter on. I'm gonna get the Jake and Mark face.
Dad, how did you get that scar? Can you tell the story?
Now, don't even get him. Don't ever I'll be like, sit down and listen up, and everybody else will be like, don't get him started. Yeah, be one of those. Anyway, maybe there's a third bad thing. Maybe there's not even one bad thing. Maybe that was just all good stuff. It's just part of going to the boundary waters.
Well, I think if that's the thing, if you had not had anything bad that had happened. Because you have to have that, and I'm not trying to be all like prophetic here, but if you don't have a bad thing that happens, you don't know the good things that happen, right? Like you have to have something to base it off of. So you had some good times there, but then you also had the bad times, and that's what made the entire trip good because you had both. Yeah. If it had all been as good, then that's boring.
That is super boring. Nobody likes that.
I've been out camping plenty of times where nothing really exciting happened. I'm like, trip was okay. But you get that one where like, oh yeah, Bob rolled off the cliff over there, and then he dropped down in the water, and we had to go save him. Like you remember that more than you do hanging out and having s'mores and
that's the thing that lives, and you have fun with that forever.
Exactly.
Like, nobody has fun with the easy story forever. Steve Ranella from Meat Eater calls that type 2 fun. I reference type 2 fun every once in a while. That's type 2 fun. Type 1 fun is like riding around on a roller coaster. Nobody reminisces about riding around on a roller coaster.
It's that in the moment excitement that you don't remember after the fact. Yeah.
The same thing happens in our businesses. It always cracked me up in our window cleaning business. We never told stories about the days where stuff went well. Nobody remembered those days. You remembered the day where Kyle walked in on the dude jerking off. That was a story in our business that got told over and over and over again because he walked in on a dude with his D in his hands, and then he had to ask him for a check. It's just like, how awkward is that? Like, yo, man, sorry to bug you.
You gotta sanitize that.
Are you gonna you got a check for me, or are you gonna pay with a card later? Okay, we'll just call you back for a credit card. Bye. Okay. And Kyle on our team was so quiet; it had to be like twice as awkward for him. But that's what you tell stories about. That one lives on forever. All right, we should wrap this baby up. We're out of time. Thank you guys for hanging out. Business nerds, appreciate you guys. Jai, way to crush it on the music. Just nailed it. Nailed that music. This is Jai's best music performance today, I think he nailed it. Volume crushed it. Timing crushed it. We're getting good at this. We should start a radio show. We're getting good at this thing.
Yeah. I know a guy who knows a guy. We'll talk.
Yeah. All right. I like it. All right. I got Colin DeHaan on tonight. Gutter Con Colin is coming on late night happy hour tonight.
Cowboy hat.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I'm gonna dig out a cowboy hat. I'm going to get my cowboy hat right now. I'm gonna out cowboy hat Colin. Do you think he's gonna wear a cowboy?
Stand up so quick. Dude, don't stand up.
Yeah, I think he'll wear a cowboy hat.
I'm predicting he's gonna wear a cowboy hat when we jump on tonight. So I'm gonna get mine out, and I'm gonna cowboy hat episode tonight. I don't know if he's a real cowboy or not. We're gonna find out. That'll be one of my questions for him. I'll start with that. So you real cowboy? Do you smoke Marlboros or what? Right? Cowboy
sounds like a good line. I like it.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna go finish unpacking.
Heck of this. You got work to do. Angela, you got sweat to sweat where it's 100 billion degrees. Home service homies, you guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn some pride. We'll see you tonight with Colin. Peace.
Later.